So welcome. You were making people laugh. You were saying things that were positive. You had this energy. You had literally like people were
And
eating
it's
out of
just
your
like
hand. And I was like,
I had took a class
she's a
and I seen this guy say, you are the dishwasher, you are the cook, you are the grocery shopper, you are your promotion, production, you're everything. You wear all these hats until
like, I
you
want to
become
ask
a
you, like,
boss. And other
we
people
see the
have
final
different hats.
product, but I want to know what goes into creating something like this. But then I also found this, like, can you tell me what dishes I'm looking at here?
Now, this is something you can pull up. I have days where I just
Cooks in
cook
your
a lot of
family?
food.
Like, where's you
So this is
who
somebody who
inspired you
pulled up.
to choose this line of work?
I will give all this credit to my mom. My mom's the real
Like,
goat. I say
I
that
want to
all the
talk about
time. She's the
school. I
real
want to talk
chef
about Yes.
in
I
the
mean,
kitchen.
Yes is a very special community to me. That's part of why I'm trying to
Like
do
just
these series of
how
interviews. Like,
I'm real close. I
it's
was
where I
close with a
started.
lot of the like teachers and stuff like that. And honestly, I'm still close with a lot of the teachers like that.
If the
So
real world is a basketball game,
I can
like
honestly say
school is shooting
that
free throws, right? And it's like
I don't know.
if
I'm
we
I'm very blessed because the teachers that I had like didn't BS me. And
and one of the things I think where the way the system has done what it's supposed to do is on the issue of drugs and marijuana and
I don't let that stop me. I turn negatives into positives. You know what I mean? And that's
because the war on drugs had like a very specific was very specific targeted attack on the Black community, I think.
no, most
um
definitely. So that's why it took us a long time to get out of it. Cause it was just like when you put somebody in a position like what else I can do.
so welcome to my show, my interview. I don't know what to call it. I've been talking to Yes teachers and students. I think this is kind of a fun project because, like, really, I just think it's fun to have a conversation with you, even if nobody watches it. But there's some people watching it, and it's interesting to me because Yes closed down 10 years ago. We're at a time where I feel like schools need to be learning from their students. And so I picked you. I asked you if you wanted to interview because, number one, you have a business. I find it that this is a natural selection process where people that have something to promote are going to be the ones that feel comfortable with who they are and are willing to come on and do an interview. And I also have this memory of you, like this specific memory of you at this one. You remember? I don't remember what we called them. We had those morning meetings at Yes Youth Empowerment School every single day, to start off school.
Yeah,
And
I was thinking about that too. I couldn't figure out the name exactly.
I'm
But
gonna
I do
find that
remember the
out.
meetings we were talking about. It was real fun every morning.
And but it was one of those routines, right? Like anytime you have a routine you do every day, like some days it's fun, but some day like it becomes a little bit of like expected. There was just one day, you were either a sophomore or a junior. I just remember one day where you just kind of there was a chance to give shout outs at those things or something, and you just took the mic and you controlled the whole audience. Like there was only one person I could remember that the whole school would listen to, and that was Lisa when she would come in and talk. But in that moment you had like you were making people laugh, you were saying things that were positive, you had this energy, you had literally like people were eating out of your hand. And I was like, she is a leader. Like she is kind of like she has like this amazing energy to her, one that school isn't always putting her in the position to express. But it doesn't surprise me that you're now a business owner, that you're a chef. Can you tell me about the West Kitchen?
Yes, yes, yes. See, I opened the West Kitchen up actually last year. From a month from now, yeah, it's been a whole year. So we just celebrated that first year anniversary of the West Kitchen. And it did take me some time. Like in school, I was always cooking. Like that's something I started at home. But I kind of got more serious after school. I went to after I graduated from Yes, I went to Laney. I was looking for the best culinary art school, and I did some researches, and it's it's like the cordon bleu and and I think California Arts Institution or something like that, as far as the cooking, and then it was Laney. And then, Mary, all these colleges have like culinary arts programs, but far as like being really good, Laney came to be the best one. So I end up going to Laney. Laney has they do breakfast. They cook breakfast in the morning for the students. They do the lunch. They actually do dinner, and they have a bistro there. So it's like you can actually sit down and have the restaurant experience and everything there. So as students, we learn each and every aspect of like being in the kitchen. So yeah, that's why I picked Laney. Merritt really didn't have like a full kitchen. So that's why I went with, when I went with Laney, and I learned a lot. And I keep saying Laney because my teachers was from the Cordon Bleu. So I guess the year that I got there, my teacher was like, he's just so fed up with the Cordon Bleu taking people money, not giving them the proper education. He said they take all this money from kids and I'm only showing them how to cut an onion. Like how far is that gonna get you? So I actually kind of lucked up with my instructor that I had at the time. So that I was very grateful for that. And yeah, that's where it all kicked off. It like I took that home cooking into like restaurant style, and it's just been very, very successful after that, even though I still didn't start my business until a couple of years later. You know what I mean? So when I did take off with it's been, I don't know, like sometimes I get like, I think I bit off a lot because it's just me. And it's just like, I had took a class and I seen this guy say, you are the dishwasher, you are the cook, you are the grocery shopper, you are your promotion, production, you're everything. You wear all these hats until you become a boss, and other people have the hats. And now you have a production person, you have a manager, you have this person that go get your groceries, you got all this, but right now I am everything. So it's a lot, and it's been, I can say that I have been going through everything as expected to have a successful business. And it's been hard, very, very hard. But I have been making it, and my feedback has been amazing for my food. So that's what keeps me going.
All right, that's cool. All right, I got this something I can do. All these things we can do that we didn't used to be able to do. I can share my screen. I think this is your website, yeah? Can you
Yeah.
see it? And then here's what I want to do. I
Yeah,
found this thing on this. I want to ask you about the website a little bit. Like I want to ask you, like, we see the final product, but I want to know what goes into creating something like this. But then I also found this, like, can you tell me what dishes I'm looking at here?
that is a dinner I did for a couple. And that is shrimp. That is we call that salt and pepper shrimp. That's catfish to your right.
This
That
right
is
here,
asparagus,
yeah.
pan-seared asparagus to your left. It
You
is
gotta like
steamed
tilt your
broccoli
head.
in the back of that, and garlic noodles topped with Parmesan cheese and parsley, all the way in the back. So I just kind of, and I did the whole setup. And my thing is that was my first opportunity. It's so expensive. Cooking food is expensive, and I don't like to serve any type of food. I serve the best of the best. So for me to do like that setup and everything, I'm kind of trying to take it from just ordering food for me to an experience. That's my biggest thing.
How about this? What are we looking at here?
Now, this is something you can pull up. I have days where I just cook a lot of food. So this is somebody who pulled up on me and just picked up an oxtail plate. So this is jerk oxtails, honey cornbread, cabbage with andouille sausage, and macaroni and cheese.
How about this right here?
That is a seafood platter. So that has andouille sausage and hot links. It's topped with lobster. It has shrimp, and it has it's two whole crabs in there. So a total of 4 clusters of crab, and it has like some lemon, and it's honey. It's not honey garlic. Excuse me. It is regular garlic butter. I think it's Cajun. Yeah, it's Cajun garlic butter sauce on top. That was really good. That was one of the best ones I did. And the thing about me now, I'm trying to get better pictures, but that came out, if you seen that in person, that came out really, really, really good.
It looks
and
good.
Guess what? I wanted to
What?
say this. While we on my website, guess who helped me with my website?
Who's that?
Miss Terry.
Ha.
Miss
Nice.
Terry was like, she jumped in my inbox like, Lauren, you need a website. Send me the information and I'm getting ready to do it. I'm like, okay. Thank you so much.
That's what's up. I want to hear more about that. I want to ask you, all right, 2 things I'm thinking is, number one of the things I tried this year was going vegan. And I'm not like one of those types of vegans that'll like make people feel bad about like what they don't eat or anything like that. Like I always have to be like, I'm not self-righteous, so just vegan. But like when I look at your food, it makes me question those decisions. Like it's delicious. I also kind of want to know what goes on in the background. Like we see the final dish as it comes out. We see the website. We see that you're a business owner, but a lot of things go into that to get you to the point where you have the website, where you have the dish. So I'm curious, like you can think about how you answer those questions, but I still want you to just to take me through these. I think there's 1 or 2 more pictures where you tell me what's in the dish that I'm looking at.
See, that right there, that is seafood stuffed shells. So that is seafood stuffed shells with Alfredo sauce. Inside is stuffed broccoli. I think I put chicken in that one, lobster, crab meat, and shrimp. And you stuff it all in, and then you top it up with some Parmesan cheese and let it melt all nice and things like that, and top it off with some parsley and stuff. Yeah, that looks good though. And I actually posted that picture on Facebook. That picture went viral on Facebook.
This one right here?
Yeah, that picture went viral.
I'm not surprised. The picture still probably doesn't do the dish justice, but that picture is mouth-watering. What about this one?
That is just something I whipped up at home for plating. I was like doing a plating thing. Like, let me see how I can plate like food and everything far as like personal dinners, because I want to start advertising personal dinners more. So this is something, I was playing around with this. And a lot of people say, and that's where I be kind of like getting thrown off, because a lot of my pictures and a lot of my work that you guys see is just me playing around and me just trying to like take a picture to see if I can do it. And my wife be like, yeah, this is really good, and like post it and things like that. But that was just me playing around trying to see if I could make something look like, you know, personal, like a personal dinner. If somebody wanted to book me for a personal dinner, let me see a surf and turf that I can do. And that came out really well too. So
like you're an artist, right? Like a chef is an artist. And part of it is making the food taste good. Part of it is making it look good, right? What other things go into the artistry that
the decoration is more so what I have a problem with, because it's like people look at it like, oh yeah, Lauren, it tastes good. You eat with your eyes first. So no one is going to, all those, you know, I get a lot of likes on Facebook and a lot of feedback on my food and stuff like that. And I feel like if I did not take so much time and it's so serious about how my presentation is, I don't feel like my business will be half where it's at. You know what I'm saying? Because you eat with your eyes first. And I always have to remember that, because my chef told me that, like, Lauren, you eat with your eyes first, so make it look nice. And I always had a problem with plating. And lately, it's homework. Like, I let this cooking become, like, real life to me. You know what I mean? So if I have a question about something, or if I don't necessarily know how to do something, I go into homework mode. Like, it's like I get a pen and a paper, I'll be so serious. And it's just like I really have to be on myself like that to get what I'm looking for, you know?
I'm curious how it's like I kind of feel like artistry is a mix of structure and improvisation, right? So like you must have gotten to the point where you're at by following recipes, but then you also must kind of be like not following recipes, like doing your own things to experiment. Like how do you
I
like
spend a lot of money on experiment. I
uh-huh.
spend I have okay, so in my life, it's like you guys just see like product. And y'all just see like, oh, Lauren, this, oh, that looks good, Lauren, and Lauren just no. In my life, like after that, I'm like, oh, I gotta let me go to the store and get this steak and cook it and see if I can even make it look nice before I even like I go through so many trials before I post pictures. It's crazy. I even before I sell food, I cook the food like 2-3 times just to make sure like it's going to be like that when 100 people, you know, it's like not cooking for your family. Like, okay, what if 100 people want this plate? It has to taste the same. It has to be consistent. So I cook it. Then I drop it. Y'all look at it like, oh, it's nice. Yeah. Me, I'll be like, it took a lot for me to like get that out there like that. But I've been getting better with that. And that's one thing that I have been doing. It is natural to me. And when I went mainstream and I just went like open up to everybody, I kind of feel like I was putting too much pressure on myself. And my food necessarily, it was great, but it's a lot more easier than what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm learning how to make it easier on me as well.
And are you from like you grew up with cooks in your family? Like where's you who inspired you to choose this line of work?
I will give all this credit to my mom. My mom's the real GOAT. I say that all the time. She's the real chef in the kitchen. I'm a little dog. Hey, sometimes in the kitchen, when my mom's in the kitchen with me, I just kind of step to the side because that's who I learned it from. I always say this: school didn't teach me nothing but measurements. As far as the cooking, it's real science to seasoning, to how you cook something, to when you put heat on something, when you take it out. It's real. It goes deep with the cooking, and my mom is she's really good. I aspire to cook like her like all the time. I think the difference between me and her, she has more love and she just because she's more older than me, so she's like way more experienced. But I just know the decoration a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like to decorate a plate a little bit more. But my mom is a true goat with cooking, and I get everything from her, everything that I know from her.
That's I hope she watches it and appreciates it. Um the you said school taught you measurements, so I felt like that's a good like I want to talk about school. I want to talk about Yes. I mean, Yes is a very special community to me. That's part of why I'm trying to do these series of interviews. Like, it's where I started teaching. I learned so much from it that I'm only now able to recognize what it taught me.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
We
but
was
what do
really
you remember?
close though. People
What's
say
that?
like when I tell people like, yeah, I went to Yes, and they like, what? Calcimine? No, Yes. We were real school up the hill and we were really close. Like all of us, like to the teachers, to everything. Like we were really close.
What yeah, I remember that too. It was a small school. We had a tight community. We were close because we went through some struggles, I think, together. And I'm sure like wasn't like, I'm sure the students didn't feel like we were all in it together like the teachers did or something, because the students um, lived in different neighborhoods than the teachers did, and that kind of thing. What do you, I don't know, do you have memories of from Yes that you want to share, like the positive memories? I want to also go to a place where we can challenge and criticize schools, but what are the good things you remember from Yes?
I remember, I don't know, I just like really remember my friends. And I remember like this how I'm real close. I was close with a lot of the like teachers and stuff like that. And honestly, I'm still close with a lot of the teachers like that. So it's like I just remember us as being close. Even if I was messing up, it's like we figured out a way to get it right. And it's like, it's rare. Let me say this, because it's rare. And I speak for the teenagers at that time and just us being adults now. It's rare when you find people who won't give up on you and actually make you want to do better. You know what I'm saying? It's very rare. Like in me, and I was just talking to Demaya and Janaya and them about this. But I was talking to Janaya. I haven't talked to Demaya in a while, but we were just saying like we really just like grew up close. Like our teachers, like we were mad cool with the teachers. Even when we had struggles, like the teachers still like made it happen for us. And that went a long way. I think as we get older, we appreciate it more because that feel good. And a lot of people don't have that. And I kind of feel like if that little last 4 years of my life wasn't the way it went, no telling like where I would have went off in life. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that the last years of my in me being in high school, I had some real solid people by my side. So that's what I remember. I remember Miss Benson helping me with my what's that test you used to have to take to pass?
Oh yeah, the Casey.
Yeah, like they popped up out of that with nowhere, and they was like, "Yeah, you gotta take this test to pass." You know me, I'm like, "Test? I am not good at tests." Is like, come on now, you can talk to me, and we could go back and forth all day. But tests, I mean, she sat down with me and helped me get through that. You know, and she was the first person to deliver the news. Like it was so personal, and she gave me a talk. She was like, "Lauren, that's just to let you know that to never give up on yourself." Cause I was like doubting myself. I was real hard on that. I told her, I said, I already know I failed. So just let me know. You pull me to the side, let me know I failed. And she still put me to the side and was like, you passed. So it's just like, I most definitely, I remember Mr. Bremner. I remember Miss Lim. I remember everybody. I remember Miss Cooper, Miss Pizzetti. Y'all all had y'all different ways of teaching though. And I kind of feel like y'all all was in the lunchroom talking together and telling us, yeah, Lauren, yeah, listen, we all gotta get on Lauren this week and make sure she on point. Like, but it wasn't like that only with me. It was just like, I remember Calvin, like, yeah, like we all was trying to help Calvin, you know, and it was just like we all came together. So I just remember the love. It was mad love, especially when we graduated, mad love.
Well, I'm sure that I like hearing that. Everybody's going to appreciate hearing that. Yeah, it was a special place, and still, I think part of the story is we still weren't ultimately successful, which is why, however schools measure success, right? Like successful is a loaded word, but like it was closed down the year after you left, and to me, that's still a story that we could come back to. I look at school. I think a school is like like the metaphor I'm thinking of today is like if the real world is a basketball game, like school is shooting free throws, right? And it's like if we had all the basketball players say you have to shoot free throws to prove that you're good enough to play basketball, you have some people that don't like this. It'd be like, you know, like Steph Curry might be like, that's cool. I'm good at shooting free throws, but even he might be like, but I actually like shooting a 40-foot, 3-foot 3-pointer in somebody's face. And like, you have people that want to play basketball, but school will only let them shoot free throws. And sort of that's like what I saw in you that time when you like took the mic in the auditorium was like, she's ready to play basketball, and she's also getting in trouble sometimes. Like there were power struggles, but like to me, part of it, and this is the part that I can identify with. And like you and I have very different identities. You being a Black woman from Oakland, and I'm a white guy from a small town in Massachusetts. We obviously didn't have the same experiences as students, but I didn't like the game. When I was a student, I didn't like the game, and I didn't like the fact that I was made to play the game. And I didn't like the way my teachers treated me based on how much I wanted to play their game. And I think I responded a lot of times by not doing homework, by not paying attention, by things that were kind of like, I felt like I was being forced to do something, and it was hypocritical. And there's a term called reactance, I guess, where like, you know, if you don't give anyone a choice, you take their power away, their power is to do the exact opposite of what you're forcing them to do. I feel like you can see that if you're trying to work with a child or something like that. But I don't know, like when you think about back on like the power struggles and things that you had in school, like what do you think about?
I can honestly say that I don't know. I'm very blessed because the teachers that I had like didn't BS me, and I called it out. They said, "Lauren, you ain't stupid." Like, and I respect that because they do want to box you in, and they want you to be as far as they want you to go, and it's like, I don't know, like even this with my personality, when I took the microphone, if you remember, I spoke and I had a speech. They let me have a speech at the graduation too. And it's just like understand who people are. You know what I mean? So you can like know how to work with them. And I feel like my teachers understood who I was, because when it was something I didn't understand, I'll tell you, hey, I don't understand this. Okay, hey, Miss Pizzetti had it the hardest with me because that was history. This don't make sense, Miss Pizzetti. And you're not gonna tell me this because they're telling you to teach me this. We're gonna talk about the truth in our class. You can ask anybody, like when you talk to other like classmates and stuff, like ask them if they have Miss Pizzetti class with me. I did not let that fly. Mr. Bremner, I seen your video with Mr. Bremner. Mr. Bremner didn't BS me neither. You know what I mean? And it's just like he taught what he was supposed to teach. But when I had those questions, it's like, hold on, this don't make sense. Mr. Bremner let me know the truth. You know what I mean? And that's what kind of helped me like understand. That's what kind of helped me not get boxed in. That's what I can say. You know what I mean? Like, and I appreciate that because a lot of teachers would be like, yeah, just do this assignment. And this and this and that. I remember like Mr. Brenner used to be like, okay, Lauren, let's talk about that. And then instead of looking at me like, okay, Lauren has a lot of energy and stuff and this and that, Mr. Brenner made a debate. He took a whole class period. And I don't know if you remember this, but he took a whole class period. I forgot who I was going back and forth with, but we took the whole class period and he had let us have a debate. Because he said like, y'all have strong personalities in here. So I want to see how y'all debate against each other. And that was big because we was able to be ourselves and be how we are, but still we're learning. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, I really, really appreciated that. That's a memory for sure too. I don't know if it was Douglas. I don't know. It was somebody. I was going back. We was going back and forth. And he was just like, I can't say nothing. It's a debate. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I always wish, you know, this is the thing about as a teacher, like I did know all the other teachers there. I think I saw a couple of them teach, but not really. Like when I saw them, it was when they knew I was coming. I have no idea what Mr. Bremner was like as a teacher. And honestly, like I'm different with my students than I am with my teachers in some kind of way. So I always wonder, like, that whole thing is like, sometimes you think you know somebody, but then you see them in a different environment. I've noticed this with my students. Like one of the first interviews I did was with a student who didn't like math and was a certain type of person in my math class. And then I saw her when she was doing this exhibition, and she like absolutely shone. Bremner, what Bremner makes me think of is he wrote a book. Well, he wrote a chapter in a book that the premise of the book is the kind of system's not broke, the system's doing what it's supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think about that a lot. Like I think about how the system, how I play a part in the system doing what it's supposed to do. And one of the things I think where the way the system has done what it's supposed to do is on the issue of drugs and marijuana and one of the things I come back to is I'm like I kind of remember having a conversation with you towards the end where I was like, did one of those, no, Lauren, I know about marijuana from experience, and then like gave you a real like I thought I was like super like, no, but like I've smoked marijuana and I've like my whole teaching career, I'm like, is that something that I should freely admit with my students? And I don't know. That was one of my memories of you was just of me feeling comfortable enough sharing that I had that bit of history with myself or with you. And the reflection is kind of like people like me that have every bit of privilege like kind of need to step up and say like drugs are not as like good and bad or like open and shut as people in schools often make them sound. And
Right. Like, oh, if you smoke weed, it's just over for you. You know, like, no, it's like you can be a teacher teaching and you're still going to get what you want across. And it just depends on the type of person. And that's what I used to always tell my teachers. Listen, this is helping me. Ask Ms. Pizzetti. I know I'm high, it's first period, but this is helping me. And she used to look at me like, Lauren, no, don't come in here like that and da-da this and da-da that. So, you know, as time changed, it kind of have like the pressure on that situation has kind of lightened up a lot. And I appreciate that because you're totally not wrong. You're not wrong. That is you. I mean, it's not like you out here doing some type of other drug, you know, trying to teach a class or anything like that. And I'm just very grateful where the world is at today because they're starting to see that marijuana and CBD, things like that is actually helpful to people. So, and that's one thing that helped me a lot in class, a lot in school too. I had to smoke weed, even though like to calm me down. I used to have so much energy. I don't know why. I still don't understand. I'll be thinking back like, Lauren, and I'll be having to like, cause now I got kids and stuff. So I'll be like telling my stories and I'll be like, oh, I was kind of wow back in there. I don't know why, but I was just like that. But yeah, the weed, and still to this day, I let me tell you this. I own a business. I cook with weed. I don't let that stop me. I turn negatives into positives. You know what I mean? And that's one thing I'm big on. So as long as you know when something's not right, and you know when you're not supposed to be doing something. But I think like the subject of marijuana is the conversation is so different now from 5 years ago, 10 years ago. It's amazing because it's like $1 billion industry, you know, and it's really dope. I really don't. If you watch my YouTube, I even have a YouTube. It's kind of hard to find because I haven't did it in a while. I was smoking on there. Why? Because this is real life. And you asked Miss Benson, I was big on that. Don't give me no fairy tale. Don't give me nothing fairy tale. Don't give me nothing that's just not real. Like, even if it's gonna hurt me, just let me know the truth. You know what I'm saying? And I'm big on that. Hey, I'm a chef and I smoke weed. I cook with it. I do everything. I'm still me. My food is still good. And it doesn't take nothing from me. You know, when I don't like that when people be like, oh, she smokes weed she's bad. Oh, he smokes weed. He's bad. Like, no, I don't like that.
Yeah, and I think it's like the way the system works, I think, is a teacher like me is afraid to say, this is a complex thing, is afraid, like I could, students that have issues where they're using drugs to escape, I could relate to them and be like, you know what, like there's some things that I know about this, but there's a part of me that fears what's going to happen if it gets out that like I've done this or that or something like that.
I
I'm
feel
like,
like they have that. Like looking back, like the fact that you talking about that now, like looking back, I feel like that's what schools is missing. Let's talk about real life. Let's talk about the temptations of what you're gonna do and you're gonna get at 18 and how to curb that so you can still be successful. Yes, this kid is gonna graduate from high school, gonna go to college away from its parent, away from he or she parents, where it's gonna be a lot of temptation out there. I feel like kids, because it's a lot of women that don't know how to cook. And it's sad because I get a lot of questions and I need help and I don't mind helping, but it's just like, this needs to be in school, the basics, and I feel that how to cook, how to just like the finances, I feel like that should have been added to school on how to just like build your credit. I feel like we should have been working on that or just gaining knowledge on that because credit is everything. And just like basic survival and stuff like that. Like I feel like that drugs and stuff, sex and stuff. I mean, I don't know why those, I remember growing up, it used to be little classes that you could go to, like sex ed class and stuff like that. And they give you little condoms and stuff like that. I feel like that should be a period. Like if it's 6 periods, the 7th period is a real life class. One day y'all might be cooking, one day y'all might be learning about sex, one day y'all might be talking about drugs. You feel what I'm saying? But you gonna know how to handle yourself or what to expect in life. And I think that's where it hit me at, and it took me a lot of time to find myself. Cause like, damn, I didn't know this was coming. Damn, I didn't expect this. You know what I mean? And it's just life. This is life. And it's just like, I didn't get no heads up, no warning about this. And I don't feel like it's the teacher's job because y'all are to do what y'all are told, like y'all curriculum and everything like that. But I most definitely feel like that should be added in the curriculum.
yeah, and it may be a long time before it does, but who knows? I mean, like, but I think the whole, like, for me, what I'm thinking about is the fear. Like, I still don't know why I'm afraid. Like, it was hard for me to just say that I've smoked weed, which it's a legal thing right now. And like, I haven't for a while now, but like these kind of like fears of owning up to who you are get ingrained in your head. I think when you're working in an institution, and that's how things get institutionalized. And like, this whole conversation on drugs bleeds into a conversation to me on institutionalized racism, I think, because the war on drugs had like a very specific targeted attack on the Black community, I think.
No, most definitely. So that's why it took us a long time to get out of it. Because it was just like when you put somebody in a position like, what else I can do? I mean, that went on for generations. So breaking that generational curse is not for the weak. Any generational curses that's trying to get broken is not for the weak. So if you're a weak person, you cannot break that. So the fact that we kind of got it to the point we pulling ourselves out of it, it's not as many Black people on drugs like that. That was big. Because, yeah, we was targeted back in the day, and this goes back years to the point some kids never had a chance. So it comes into schools, and you wonder why they ain't listening. It's hard for them to understand, and it's hard for them to get them to sit down, and it's hard for this because we trying to raise a crack baby, or we trying to raise a baby that was addicted to this and get it out of their systems. Yeah. And I feel like that should be, you should be able to talk about that. My mama is a crackhead. So a teacher can understand how, I'm not saying like to say it like that, but like, so a teacher can understand like, okay, maybe I can put them in a class. Okay, like this kid might have more challenges. So let me like make it to the point where it's not like I could help them more. They could feel comfortable talking about it. Because that's why a lot of kids left school. I couldn't talk about nothing. It was always judged. Kids coming there hard and just trying to deal with life. Kids used to use school as a getaway. So it's like when you come and you trying to deal with life, you come in there hard and then they rejecting you too, where you gonna go?
Yeah, I also think it's like kids know things a lot of times that adults don't know. So like all those things you spoke about, I don't have that much experience about, but like if you're a kid and you can see in the real world they're playing basketball and your school is teaching you free throws and your school is like acting like in order to play basketball, you need to learn how to shoot free throws. You can tell, I don't know, this is what I felt in school. I'm like, and I imagine in you, like if you're around like business entrepreneurs and stuff, there's a lot of people that are like, school is a joke. Like what they teach you in school is kind of, and to me, it is that whole like, yes, we teach you a skill that is valuable, but we act like it's the most important thing. And sometimes we prevent you from learning, or like we don't reward you for a lot of the things that are also really important as being a business owner.
No, most definitely. And I 100% agree with that. Because I hang around a lot of people now. I try to hang around a lot of people that's doing better than me and that is more advanced than me so I can learn. But everybody I hang around don't have degrees. Like some have degrees on what they want to do with their life, but some people don't. And a lot of people with my cooking part, they don't. Because cooking is like a natural thing you gain outside of school. You have to cook, 3 times a day or get something to eat 3 times a day. So you deal with food a lot. But it's just like, I don't know, like, this is crazy. This stuff, it's a lot. It is a lot.
Well, I I appreciate you for being honest and for sharing where you come at this from. What like can you talk about what the skills are that make you successful as a business owner?
Never giving up. I can sell this. This is a reader for my food. It's like a little reader. I can sell this, but it's gonna be times where this don't sell. There's gonna be days where this don't sell. It's gonna be days where this might sell a lot. I just have to be ready for that. And when I deal with a lot of business owners now, and I see some people like discouraged. Oh, this month was bad. It's the end of business, or I don't know what to do, or just even staying stagnant at a steady pace is not even healthy in business. So my thing is being relentless, staying hungry, and just being ready for whatever. Like I learned so much on not going around the bush with business. You just have to do things the way things are supposed to be done. And that helped me with procrastinating. So just be ready for whatever. If you have it's rarely that you get a business that just take off and it's like, oh my God, I just make $1 million a year myself. So many t-shirts and stuff like that. But on the flip side, you do have those business owners that's hungry, that's waiting on that one person to see their lipstick line and take off. And now they just in all the beauty supply stores and things like that. Like it's every day. It's every day. And keep hustling until you got other people wearing your hats. Until you got somebody that's that manager, somebody that's that grocery store runner. Like you're gonna wear all those hats. So keep hustling. And that's when you when you start filling those hats in, then you're gonna sit back and look like, man, I got a team now. You know what I mean? Like I got, like it's so, I don't know, this cooking stuff been so surreal to me because it's like I don't never get bored with it. Like it's like a real life, a real life job. And if I can't wait till I really just open up something serious because I just think it's gonna be so blessed and it's gonna take off so much. But I'm just moving at my pace. And my biggest thing is just keep putting the pressure on. Just keep putting pressure. You gotta put pressure. If you could apply pressure when you feeling your lowest, and you can still think about your business and still do something to help your business, you're gonna win. It's just a matter of time. Some people give up. Some people want to wait that 6 months, wait that year, and just be like, oh, I done put in enough work. It's never enough work. It's never enough. So me, I'm thinking about, I cook, y'all know I cook, but I'm coming out with an apron line. I'm about to have a seasoning drop. I'm about to have a clothing line drop from this. And it's just like, that's how you take it from being just a thought into being a movement. You know what I'm saying? And it is just being everything. You have to be that, I don't know what they're called, but that person that just think of ideas and be like, instead of somebody coming to an idea with you, Lauren, I want you to start a clothing line. I have to think about that myself. Like, you know what? Let me start a clothing line. Let me do a seasoning. You know what I mean? Because it's not, a lot of people not blessed to get things handed to them. So you got to put in that work, and you gotta line your eggs up for yourself too sometimes. So always keep your eggs lined up. Never stop lining eggs up. Keep goals. Have a board. And I'm big on that. When you write it down, it's gonna happen. Because a thought can get lost. But once you write it down, you're serious. And that's when doors start to open.
Oh, that's cool. All right, I'll keep that in mind because I know I need to
This
write
is
things down
great.
more often.
Don't sleep on yourself, Mr. Snyder. Hey, listen, this is great. I was talking to like I said, I was talking to Janai and them, and it's just like it's hard talking to your friends and your peoples and having a time where you sit down and you talk about the memories. Those are the memories you take for the rest of your life. So what you doing is you bringing that back. Like, hey, I ain't forgot about y'all. I'm quite sure there's a lot of people that'll get on here and talk to you like this, and they're gonna tell you this is dope. Because when I see Mr. Brimner on it, I'm like, oh, this is dope. I want to hear what Mr. Brimner got to say. I was busy, so I listened to a little bit of it. But I'm like, I need to listen to what Mr. Brimner got to say, and I'm looking for the next one, looking forward to the next one too. So I was proud of you on this because it's hard. And watch, you're going to go, I'm going to post it, and you're going to go from so many views to more views and more views and more views. And guess what? You're going to be like, yeah, me and Lauren was sitting there talking about this. And now look at me. Look at me with these 400, 500 views, and it only been posted up a week and stuff like that. That is real. That is real. Investing is real.
Yeah, that's exciting. I mean, I have a comfortable job. I have a union job. Like, I'm not trying to have my own business, but there is a part of me that's always like, could I have been successful? Like, what would I have been if I didn't get? And this whole year has taught me, if there's an artist inside of you, there's like a million different ways to express it. So like, I kind of feel like that's the fun thing. That's the thing that I'm playing around with. But
I'm really good. I'm real proud of this.
All right, cool. What do you want to say? Say one last final thing before I click the stop button.
I appreciate you having me. I look forward to watching many, many videos from you because you're going to keep this going and you're going to keep talking to people. And hopefully someday you might have a podcast and I can, after Corona, come sit down with you and we could talk about real life things. And how about we talk about things that you're not comfortable with talking about? Let's make that a little thing on your podcast. Let's talk about at least one thing that you really not comfortable with talking about. Cause that's big and that helps with self-healing too. So just keep being you. That's all I can say.
All right. I appreciate that. And when you come on, you'll bring me some of those shrimp that you cook?
Yeah, I got you. I
All
got
right, I
you.
clicked. Okay. Record. I usually, when I do these things, I usually kind of like do something awkward or uncomfortable and then like clip that out and put it at the back because that like, then I settle down and get comfortable. But I can't, sometimes I have like a scripted joke, but I haven't seen you in like 10 years. I don't got any jokes. Do you have any good like go-to jokes to when you're in an uncomfortable situation?
Um, no, I just try to like breathe and just like silly dance, anything, rub the thighs, anything, just to get
All
all
right.
the jitters out. Keep going.
All right. In through the nose, out through the mouth.
That was good.
All right. All right. I feel good. All right.